Welcome to Wealth Flow with the Black Mentor. I am Joseph Nantomam, multimillionaire real estate investor and life coach. The Wealth Flow show is to help you develop a wealth building mindset so you can achieve wealth and build financial freedom. And what is wealth flow, you may ask? Wealth flow gives you the four pillars of knowledge flow, freedom flow, cash flow, and success flow. And today on the show, we're here to show you how to build cash, how to build wealth for yourself through so many platforms that I am creating with my mentors and with my friends. And as you all know, the Black Mentor show and brand has been doing so well in the past few years. Recently, I won the IOTPA award to be the number one in the United States. Yours truly, the top inspirational coach and entrepreneur of the year. And we've been doing great things. And, I want to tell you, these things don't come easy. We make it look easy, but it's a whole lot of work. And with all that is coming up, you want to take action. You just want to make sure that you get out there. And before we move on to the show today, I just want to remind you that, in the month of October, we're going to be having our master's class, How to Be Successful in the Diaspora. And of course, come November, we're going to be having the boot camp. The boot camp is coming up on the 10th. And I think it's on the 10th of November to the 12th. It's going to be 3 days of intensive coaching where I'll be showing you how to market, how to sell, how to build your real estate business from scratch. And what has been very, very interesting about the the Wealth Flow Bootcamp, again, which is coming up on November 10th to the 12th, is the fact that people can actually take what we coach them in our office and practicalize it. It's not just something you come on, you learn and you sit on it. You can actually go out there, learn how to do it, and take necessary actions and see how you can move your life forward from where you are to where you want to be. Let's hear from one of the attendees of that class.
The same person again because the Black Mentor has really changed my mindset on how I see things now. And he has really, with the teaching and everything, he has been able to bring out the potentials in me. And I know I have the possibility to go out there and make the change that I need, that the world needs.
And there you have it. I can tell you, amazing stories. This particular person who spoke, Abigail, is going to be closing her first property just a month after the boot camp. She's closing her first deal. I think it's on the 29th of September. And a lot of successful things, have been happening. With the Wealth Flow Boot Camp, what happens is we will help you transition from where you are in terms of your mindset into a great mindset, because for you to be successful in any way, it's all about having the right mindset, and that is what it does for you. So mindset, very, very important. How do you go from a broke mindset to a successful mindset? How can you build wealth for yourself? And again, we're going to show you how you're going to get the financing, because you need to know where you're going to get the money. It's all about the money, right? So you got to know, where am I going to get the money? Where am I going to get the financing to actually build my real estate business? Another thing you're going to get from the boot camp is you're going to have a community of like-minded people. In my years of doing business, and I started building wealth for myself, I realized that the relationships that I build, as they get better, my businesses started getting better. As this, it's just that simple. The more relationships you build, the more people you help, the more doors you can open. And of course, you're going to get a great marketing reach. We're going to show you how to do marketing the right way, how to build sales, and just a holistic way of just building your business. Very, very important as well. And, people come around and they ask me, how do I build wealth? How do I, grow my business? And honestly, it's a very, very simple process if you know what you're doing. The first thing you got to ask yourself when building financial wealth is, how am I going to make money? You know, very, very successful people say that for you to be truly, truly successful, not just being comfortable, For you to be truly, truly successful, you need to have at least 7 streams of income. 7. Okay, I have 15. So you can imagine what we're talking about. So the first thing you got to ask yourself is, how do I make money? And after you've gotten that answered, you need to ask yourself, how do I preserve that money? You see, especially in the United States and anywhere in the Western world where taxes are being enforced, you have to understand that it is not how much you make, it is how much you can keep. This is one thing people don't understand, both people who work 9 to 5 and some people who do business. They say, you ask them, hey, how much did you make? And they tell you the gross. They tell you, I just closed the deal. How much was the gross? Well, the whole deal was what, $300,000. Did you go home with $300,000? That is the question you need to ask yourself. You could do a transaction for 300,000 and your net is just 10,000. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about, how do you preserve all this money? Whatever you're making in a year, in 2 years, 5 years in your business, how do you preserve it? That is the thing you need to be asking yourself. And lastly, how do you multiply this money? You know, a lot of people don't know how to multiply wealth, and it's not their fault, because financial literacy is not taught in schools. So people just go to school, get a degree, come out, get married, give birth to a child, get a job, and go on and on and on and on. So I'm encouraging you to think about these 3 steps. Okay, think about it. How do I build or make money? How do I preserve this money? And how do I multiply the money? Thank you for joining us. And I want to encourage you, if you're watching, comment, chat us up. We're going to get into question and answer session. And recently, I came across one of the ways to building wealth. Like I told you, the 4 pillars is being free, being successful in terms of cash flow, being successful in terms of getting the right knowledge. Very, very important. And I came across a gentleman who started showing me and started teaching me, about building wealth or transferring wealth through insurance. As a real estate investor, I do a lot of transactions in a year. We do millions and millions of dollars. And I do know about, a layman level, like a layman, I do know what insurance is all about. It's all about, you know, putting yourself together, insuring yourself just in case, something bad happens, you know. But I never knew that, with certain insurance, it is structured in a way that even while you're alive, you're going to be getting benefit. And trust me, you know me, I take action because successful people take actions and make decisions very, very fast. So when I heard about it, I jumped on a call, spoke to this gentleman I'm about to bring on the show and introduce to you, and I started asking him questions about, how do you build wealth with insurance? How do you transfer wealth with insurance? And I have in the show today David Gomez. He's a insurance broker, reaching us all the way from Dallas today. Hey, nice
Yes.
seeing you again, David.
Great to see you again. It's a pleasure
Hi,
being on. Thank you for the privilege.
hi, welcome to Webflow with the Black Mentor. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Amazing. So, we've been talking for a while, and it's very, very interesting. First and foremost, why is it that, just introduce yourself, tell us what you do, how long you've been doing it. But I'm so eager, I want to jump into the meat, the real thing, and
Yes.
crack this thing out. And but just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for the conversation. Definitely a very meaty topic. But I'm David Gomez. I'm an insurance broker, originally from Los Angeles, California, relocated to Dallas, Texas to grow the insurance agency. We've been growing. And I've been now licensed around 8 years. We represent well over 30 different companies, top A-rated companies around the U.S., and we specialize in helping people grow money, access money, and transfer money tax-free.
Amazing. Now, you are in this industry. I mean, a few of us know what insurance is all about. Trust me, with all the knowledge that I have, with all the success, in my own right that I've built, I never knew the kind of, I knew about term insurance, whole life insurance, and all that. But there's some people out there that don't even know about insurance. Tell us a little bit about what the insurance world is all about, what it does. Then we're going to specifically talk about what I just signed up with you recently.
Yes. So insurance traditionally is known to protect things in case they are lost or broken, right? So car insurance, health insurance, home insurance, right? Now, if you utilize an index universal life insurance policy, this type of life insurance is not focused on the death benefit. It's focused on the tax benefits within insurance. So that's why if you properly structure an index universal life insurance policy, you're going to be able to grow your money, access money, and transfer your money tax-free because it's designed to take full advantage of the tax benefits within insurance.
Amazing. So let me hit this thing straight. You're live. Is it taxable?
Is it taxable? So when you have your money inside of insurance, what allows it to remain tax-free is keeping your death benefit active. And here's why. The IRS looks at the insurance, looks at the vehicle as an insurance policy. The moment you get rid of your death benefit, it's now a taxable account. So what affluent people do is they make sure that they leave at least 10% so that it could cover the cost of insurance. So by doing so, it could grow and access tax-free.
Why are these things not being taught in school?
You know what? I think money in general is not taught, right? Whether we're talking about credit cards, we're talking about 401ks, we're talking about insurance. I think money in general is not taught. I think it should be. I remember taking a biology class, learning how to dissect a frog, and I've never had to do that in the real world, but I do taxes every year. You got credit cards, you have investments. So I just think overall finances are not discussed. Now, specifically insurance, I think traditionally individuals only focus on what they know is the stock market, right? Mm-hmm. And the stock market has its role. It's focused on offense, growing money, but it also has some risk. And I say insurance is focused on defense, which is protecting the money that you've grown. So I just think overall finances should be discussed more in school.
Amazing. So who can actually have this insurance we're talking about? This universal index universal insurance. Who's qualified to have it?
So anybody who qualifies for a death benefit can have it. And here's the age limits: 15 days old. So you could actually get an index universal life policy on your child as long as they're 15 days old, all the way up to the age of 70, 75, depending on the company you go with. It's more favorable the younger you are because it's going to compound more over time. But as long as you're able to get approved through the underwriting process, medically you're in good standing, you'll be able to own a IUL.
When you talk about compound, it's something that people don't understand. But I came to understand compound like, every single day, if you multiply $1, it's amazing what you're going to get in 10 years. Tell us about the compound side a little bit when you're talking about, getting insurance. And, I also want you to attach it, I'm a businessman, I'm an investor. So if I am doing this, talk about the compound, they talk about how can people, because a lot of my students are in real estate, and I'm sure a lot of them are watching right now. Some of them are going to be watching later. How does this affect you if you're in real estate investment?
So compound interest, for those who many have heard of the topic, but what is compound interest? It's your money making money for you, right? You put in $10,000, $100,000, $1,000, and you allow it to grow. The interest on that money now becomes your money, and that starts to grow, right? So if you double a penny for 30 days, you end up with over $1 million. I think it's close to $5 million over the course of 30 days. Right now, there's two types of compound interest. There's interrupted compound interest, and then there's uninterrupted compound interest. So I'll give you one example. Whenever your money is in a vehicle where you can lose it, let's say a 401k is the most common. You put in X amount every month. When the market goes down, the compounding of your money is interrupted.
Correct.
So it needs to play catch up. So the compounding happens slower. Now, here's the benefit of an index universal life insurance policy. It comes with a cap, but it also comes with a floor. The floor is 0. So you will never have a negative year, which means, and this is the exciting part, and it's time to real estate, which means your money is your compound interest is never interrupted. And because you never have a negative year, it compounds fast because you don't have to catch up. Now you mentioned real estate. Can I mention how it ties into real estate?
Yes, please. That's what I was waiting for, man.
So compound interest you could get in different places, but here's what's unique about the IUL. When I work with a lot of real estate investors, some real estate agents, and whenever you put your money inside of an insurance policy, what's attractive about it is that when you put your money in, it's growing through compound interest. When you go to access it, you could borrow against your policy. And this is the biggest benefit. When you're borrowing against it, it's tax-free.
Amazing.
So I've met with real estate investors that have all of their cash in the bank in between transactions. And it works, but you're missing out on the compounded benefit. So in between transactions, the money in the IUL is still growing. You borrow against the tax, then you pay it back whenever you have you flip the investment.
Amazing. This is just getting interesting and interesting. So if I wanted to get into this program, what is the minimum contribution that I can make monthly?
So let's say it's a child. Let's say it's child 2 years old, right? I've seen parents do $100 a month for their kids, right? Now here's the rule I give for minimum contribution once you're an adult. If you want to add a 0 to your age. If you're 20 years old, you want to do minimum $200 a month. If you're 40 years old, you want to add a 0, minimum $400 a month. So if you add a 0 to your age, that's the minimum. However, the more you do, the faster it compounds.
Amazing. This is just so amazing. So what are some of the success stories, people you've actually worked with in the past, and how has this whole thing helped them? I know you've been doing this for 8 years now. Am I correct?
Yes.
Just give us correct. 1 or 2 scenarios out there.
So I'll give you a couple of examples. One of my first clients, this is nearly 8 years ago. I won't do the math, but nearly 8 years ago, she called me 2 years ago in 2020 when COVID began. And she said, "Hey, David, I see the stock market going down. How much money have I lost?" And I was so proud to be able to say the answer with 100% certainty, 0. That's the benefit of an index universal life insurance policy. When the stock market goes down, every year, whatever you grow gets locked in. Trusting me with her money for the last, at that point, in the last 6 years, I was able to share with her, "Hey, you have not lost any money. You'll flatline this year. You won't make any growth. But when the market starts to come back up, you're going to grow from there." So that's an example of how I've been able to help a couple clients protect what they have.
That's amazing. So if I wanted to reach you now, let's say, I've watched this show and I wanted to reach out to you and get your information, what is the fastest way to do that? Phone number, email, or handle? Give us something.
Fastest way is going to be through social media. So whether it's Instagram or Facebook, the handle is this is David Gomez. This is David Gomez. And then also on the screen, I appreciate that. And then also, I'm very good through text. My phone number, I'll give it to you, is 909-565-2600. Whether it's through social media or text, I will return your call as soon as possible.
Amazing. So I want to really thank you for the great work you're doing out there. Certainly this is not going to be the last time you're going to be coming on the show. I have already, gone into the program, and it's amazing. All the available resources that is out there for people who want to get into business, who want to build wealth, who want to transfer wealth. And talking about transfer of wealth, let's assuming somebody like me, I'm 45, everybody knows that, that's not a secret, and I want to do a program. What is the minimum, or what do you think is the maximum I can cap and transfer? Let's say, God forbid, something were to happen.
So the minimum and the maximum to transfer, is that the question?
Correct.
Perfect. So the minimum is going to be based off of the contribution. So let's say at 40, you mentioned your age again, 40?
45.
45. Okay. So let's add a 0. So doing a $450 a month contribution, let's say that gets you a debt benefit of $500,000. You have $500,000, and no matter what, if the individual were to pass away, that $500,000 will transfer tax-free. However, inside of an index universal life, what also transfers tax-free is all the cash value you have inside. So let's say over the next 15, 20, 25 years, you've accumulated another $500,000 in your account.
Your contributions. Yep.
Your contribution with the compound interest, the $500,000 of life insurance plus the $500,000 of savings, you'll transfer $1 million tax-free. So that's the minimum. The maximum is, I believe it's 25 times your annual income. So if somebody makes $1 million a year, they could have up to $25 million of death benefit that they could transfer tax-free.
Tax-free. So the minimum, I mean, do you know what you just said? Any number with $1 million is a good number to me, whether it's 1, 2, 3. So you're saying, minimal, okay, of $1 million, correct? Yeah. I just want to be sure I'm hearing the right thing.
You're hearing. Can I mention one?
Really,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's really, really amazing. Yeah, you wanted to impute something real fast.
So so I grew up in a community where I'm 33 years old. If you add a zero to my age, it's $330 a month. I grew up in a community where $330 a month was too much to contribute. But one thing I want clients to know as well is that if you need to start smaller, you could start with a term policy just to secure your legacy, and you're able to convert that into an IUL when you're ready. Let's say there's a single mom, a single dad out there that could only do $40 a month, $30 a month, $80 a month. We'll get them a temporary policy, and once they go through your program, increase their income, get into a better spot, they're able to take that temporary policy and convert it into an IUL so that they lock in their rate at a young age. So just to mention that for some of the viewers.
That's amazing. Now, if you're watching, we've been talking about building wealth through, insurance, wealth transfer through insurance. And if you're there, you have a question, this is the time. David and myself are going to, and if you have any general question, David and myself are going to be going through the comment. We're going to be answering a few questions as they come from the background. If it has to do with insurance, I'm sure David is going to take on there. I don't like talking about things that I don't know. I don't pretend to know everything. But what I know, I talk about. So David is here. He's an insurance broker, and it's just amazing all the information that you can get. And that's what we do here when we're talking about wealth flow. You're talking about, knowledge flow, and, just passing knowledge, passing information. And that is one thing that I tell people, when you get information, don't hold it back. You won't believe it. For a long time, I just knew about time, even though I've built so much wealth in the United States, tell you there are many things that I don't know. I have a lot of very, very successful friends who have made, millions and millions and millions. I have a friend who has done over 1,500, that is 1,500 real estate deals. I can only boast for less than 100, even though I've had so much success. So these are guys that are doing millions and multiple millions of dollars, and they have information that I do not have. So hearing you talking about this and seeing all the possibilities that are available, it just makes me wonder, how far one can take this success thing to. And every single day, I just want to get myself, in a place where I can learn more, I can know more, I can get information. And of course, when I get this information, I can actually, implement them. Because at the end of the day, if you have all the information in the world and you do not execute them, you do not implement them, you're really, really not putting yourself in a good spot. So let's take a few questions as they come in live. Somebody says, "Good day, Black Mentor. I want you to mentor me in real estate. I live in Maryland here. I want to be part of your incoming bootcamp. I'll be glad if you can give me your contact." Now, you see, you don't need my contact for that. All you got to do is go to the website. You go to the website, you shoot us an email. One of my staff is going to respond to you. The website is joenantoma.com. Okay, right there, it's on the screen. joenantoma.com/events. Go in there. You see a link. You sign up, and you're on your way to being in the class. I always encourage you, take the first class, How to Be Successful in the Diaspora. It helps you, gives you that foundation where you know how to structure your business the right way, know where you're going to get funding, know, what exactly you're getting into. Now, when you have that structure, then you can come to the boot camp, which is coming up on the 10th to the 12th of November. And there, I'm going to take you 3 days. I'm going to hold your hands and show you how you can start building this thing from zero. I just got out of a call before I jumped into the meeting. A lady had reached out to me from California, and she was asking me, how do I get successful with $5,000 in real estate? I said, well, if you called me 5 years ago, that would have been fine. But right now, with your $5,000, what you need to do is invest in yourself. The greatest investment you can give to yourself is investing in yourself. Go out there. The first thing, before you open your mouth to say anything, invest in yourself. Get some courses, go to programs, expose yourself to new information. It's amazing how people don't want to do this. They wanted a fast way, like a drive-through. I just drove through and I made the millions at the other side. You will not last. You won't. People just see me, all this, Again, I was on another call earlier this morning. I was talking to a guy that I had met, a business partner that I met in Virginia, came to my class, and I went to Virginia to do some transactions. And he was there when I was doing a transaction where I had to make a huge payment, for something that I wanted. And he started seeing the result. And he said, Joseph, now I understand the sacrifices that you are making. It's not just sitting down and desiring to be successful. You have to get out there and invest in yourself. Pay the money, sign the check, make the transfer, sign up for the class. It doesn't necessarily have to be my class. Get out there and get information. There are so many people just sitting down. You have 5,000, you have 3,000. What are you saving it for? Get that money out there, invest in yourself, because when you invest in yourself, what you're doing is you're reaching out to the better version of yourself that is in your future. And imagine 3 years, 4 years from now, you don't have any new information. You don't have any new skills. Where you are is where you're still going to be in 4 years. Just picture that kind of scenario. That is why you need to start investing in yourself. You read books, you sign up for seminars, you make yourself available, you watch programs like this that is going to give you information. You listen to experts like David, people like me in real estate who can show you how to build wealth. But you know what? After you finish listening, you take action. What do you have to say about that, David?
I would absolutely agree. I think one of the comparisons I always make is in my degree. I remember growing up, everything was about go to college. For my degree, I invested 5 years of my life, $100,000, half of that being in student loans, the other half in scholarships. So $46,000 for a 5-year degree. And when I graduated, my very first job.
What did you study? I'm now curious. What did you study for that? For $100,000?
I was a counselor.
Okay.
So I went to a private school. It's the experience was great. I met my wife through there, but the program.
Okay, that's fair enough. You paid $100,000 to get married. That's good enough.
That's a good investment, right? So yeah. But the loans, $46,000. My license cost me $500. I invested a couple $1,000 after that for some trainings, some boot camps. Yeah. So I highly recommend the boot camps. And my 2-week license makes me significantly more money than my 5-year degree ever did.
You can imagine. Okay, let's take some more questions, and I want you to be on the screen with me. Have you invested in yourself to be so successful? Somebody's asking me that. Of course, I invested in myself. The very first money that I spent in the United States outside my rent was an investment money. See, I started my real estate with $997, and I say it again, and I'm not ashamed. I met Grant Cardone at the time, and this guy was sitting on the screen just like you and I saying here, give me your $997. I'm going to show you how to be rich. And I had to take, I've told the story time and time again. I had $1,050 in the bank. That money was supposed to be for my rent for that month. But I knew at the back of my head that if I don't take action, if I don't get out there and do something, I was going to keep being on that path where I was just sitting down and looking for who's going to give me paycheck, paycheck, paycheck. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to get out of that comfort zone. So I paid $9.97, took the class. Now, what I learned with the $9.97, I started practicing it. You see, that is the problem. A lot of people get information and they sit on it, David. They don't do anything about it. But when I started getting the information, I know what was amazing. It was an online class. Okay, so I couldn't meet Grant Cardone physically, but it was an online class. I could log in, I could read something, I could take home something that I was learning there, and I kept on at that. Now, when I started implementing those things that I learned, then I closed my first deal, which was a wholesale. I made $8,000, and the next one and the next one. Now, as I was making those monies, I didn't go ahead and start partying yet. In fact, my car that I bought at that time was just $900. And I had about $8,000 in the bank. I bought a car for $900,000, just something, $900, sorry, something that I knew could just move me around town. It was an old, rugged 2000 Dodge Journey. But it was taking me around. And I started building well. Then I came across another company that said, hey, we're going to coach you and help you to become a licensed investor or an accredited investor, like you call it. So I went out there and I paid $24,000 for that class. So you see how I went from let's call it $1,000 to $24,000, and I have not stopped. I have not even stopped. I became a licensed or accredited investor. When you finish the program, they gave me a line of credit for $1 million. Now I could do real estate. I could go out there, get a deal, put in an offer, and they would give me a pre-approval to close the deal. And it went on and on. And even till this moment that I sit here, I am still paying every single day. Now, I'm not so much paying for knowledge anymore, but now I'm paying for relationships. You see, it never stops. If you think, oh, now I have the knowledge, I'm going to sit down. No, you got to pay for relationships. Okay, what do I mean? You have to start investing so you can go to places where people who are doing better than you. If you're making $1 million, you want to start working, how am I going to get to the 10 million? If you're doing 10 million, how do I get to 50 million? And every single time there is someone who's doing better than you are. So you got to pay the price. You have to pay, you have to invest so you can get to where such people are talking, because success leaves clues. And people will drop little thing while they're just talking to you. They will drop little tips here and there on how they did a deal that was 10 million, 20 million, 50 million. Okay, over the weekend, I was with my coach and my friend, JT Fox. JT Fox has done hundreds of millions of transactions. Young chap, okay? And I just got here. I'm still a rookie. But you know what? I had to get myself involved, make some investments so I can go sit in the room with JT Fox for 3 days. I was there on Thursday. We started the program Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and he opened the doors to multi-millionaires and billionaires. You know, I'm learning to pronounce billions now. Okay, so that is what it does for you. And this weekend, I'm not going to say anything. I'm traveling again, but you're going to be like, whoa. Because that is what you start doing. First and foremost, you invest in yourself. When you finish investing in yourself, then you start investing in your business. Then you start investing in relationships. And that is how you do it. Anything you want to add to that if I take the next question?
Yeah, 100% I agree. I think relationships are everything. When I got started in the business world, entrepreneurship world, I heard somebody say, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need to change your circle. If you're the highest income earner in your circle, you need to change your circle. So I wanted to put myself in a place where I was number 5, not number 1. So I would agree with everything you said.
And that's amazing. It's amazing you called number 5, because there's a saying that the first 5 people you relate with have to be doing better than you are. So I have a test that I usually give when I do coaching with people. I tell them, how much do you make? And they go, oh, I make 200,000. I make 300,000. And I tell them, write down the 5 people you talk to every single day in a month. And the first person they go, my mama. Papa, and it goes like that. Then I tell them, how much does your mom make? She makes $30,000 a year. How much does your dad make? He makes 20,000 or 30,000, 35,000. Okay, your friend that you talk to all the time. Long story short, when they finish putting these people, the net worth of the 5 people they talk to all the time is less than half of what they make in a year. So you see why you're not really making any money, because all the people you talk to, all the people you spend your time with, put together, you are richer than they are. You make 300,000, they make, put together, they make 100,000, 120,000. Now, the question you want to ask yourself is, what kind of information can these guys give you to get to the next level? The answer is straight zero. Now, I have friends that I talk to all the time. Okay. My wife is a realtor. So let's start with my wife. She's a realtor. And this month alone, my wife is closing 10 deals, 10 properties. In fact, as of last month, her brokerage told her she's done over $1 million. Now, that's the kind of woman I want to be talking to. Okay. So let's put that number one, because that's the person I talk to every day. Now, let's take it one step outside. I just told you for the last 1 month, the guy that I take information from, the person I call the most, like today, I've already called JT's office 3 times, for example. He's what? Close to $1 billion. Okay? Now, I make what? $1 million, $1.5 million every year, but this guy makes like 10 times or 20 times what I make in a year. So you see where I'm going with this. So there is no way that the way I think will not go like this. What you want the graph to go like this, not like you want it to go this way. So these are the practical things that people need to do, the actions that people need to understand when we say that. Find ways to get yourself into places where people can show you how to build wealth, where people can get you to stretch. You don't want to be in a place like that. Yeah, Joseph, you're doing good. No. I don't like when people tell me that. I want people who are going to show me what is the next thing that I need to do. What is the next thing that I need to take? The action I need to take to stretch me to the next level. And trust me, when you are in the midst of people who are doing better than you, they see all your flaws. It's like when you're driving, you do not see what they call the blind spots, right? But people around you will see the blind spots. And you want to make sure the people who are seeing the blind spots are people that are doing better than you. Okay? So very, very important. Let's take 2 more questions and I'm going to let you go. I know you're a busy man. Can a non-US citizen participate in the IUL? I think the answer would be no, but let me leave it for the expert.
That's actually a great question. So the answer is yes, as long as they have a ITIN number, so individual tax ID number, and a US issued ID. So if they have a driver's license, if they have anything US issued and an ITIN number, they can get an IUL.
Okay, that's amazing, because my company Next Pro can actually help you get your ITIN number. You see, I never knew about that. So we have clients from like Canada and different places who want to set up their businesses in the United States. So when we set it up for them to pay their taxes, they get their ITIN number. So what you're telling me is with that ITIN number, they can actually also get the insurance, correct?
Correct. They would need to reside in the U.S., but they don't have to have legal status to be able to get an ID.
Legal status, so they can visit and get an ID from the driver's license or something, and with that, right?
Correct. They have to have their residency in the U.S. So more than 6 months of the year living in the U.S.
Living in the U.S. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, that's a very interesting question. How can one move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset in becoming a successful businessman? I'm a Liberian student studying agriculture in Cyprus. Wow, thanks for joining us all the way from Cyprus. Man, the internet is so great. Thank you. I don't see the name, but thank you for joining. The best way for you to go from a fixed mindset to an open mindset, it's already there, we already said it, is by associating yourself with people who are already having a stretched mindset. The truth of the matter is, you need to leave your comfort zone. In fact, yesterday, I was driving from the airport in Dallas. I was going, and a very interesting conversation I had with the Uber driver. Something like this, he was asking me, like, how do you grow? How do you grow your mindset. And I told him, you got to believe in yourself. You got to get in the mix of people who are doing better than you are. And you have to be willing to listen and take action. Because every time you meet someone doing better than you, they will always call you to action. Number one, they will always call you to action. They'll tell you, come see me. They'll tell you, you got to move. This morning, I had a guy who just bashed into my office all the way from Chicago. He's like, Black Mentor, I've been listening to you. I decided to take action and I decided to come see you. I was like, oh my God, these guys have started actually listening. However, I said, dude, next time, please make an appointment. You get what I'm saying? So, but that is what happens, for you to get into a right mindset, you need to start linking yourself to people who are doing better than you. And there are two ways, if I may just add real fast. Man, it's getting good here because I know the information I'm giving out. There are two ways for you to get into the midst of the elite or somebody that's going to help you. One of them is called through getting into the midst of successful people through association. Now, that is not a very powerful way, but let me explain. Let's say I come see you, David, in Dallas, and I followed you to an event, and in that event, the governor of Dallas is there, or let's say the mayor of Dallas is there, okay? And you know the mayor of Dallas. And I meet the mayor, you're like, hey, mayor, this is Joseph, came in from Wisconsin, and we shake hands, and I leave. You've introduced me by association. I know David, and David has introduced me to the mayor, correct, of the city of Dallas. But let me ask you a question. 2 weeks later, I'm flying into Dallas, and I meet the mayor at the airport. Do you think he's going to remember me?
It depends on that first impression.
Nothing really happened. We just met and we shook hands. Nothing really happened. You get what I'm saying? Now, let me give you a second scenario. This will bring in the light, okay? I meet the same guy, came to see you, introduced me to the mayor. He's having a huge project he's doing in Dallas. And I say, hey, mayor, you know what? I'm a rich guy. I've done so much for myself. And I write a check of $1 million. And I say, I want to invest in this project you're doing, mayor. When the mayor sees me in 2 weeks, do you think he's going to remember me?
100%. First name, last name.
Because I just invested in what he's doing. He's not going to forget me. In fact, he's going to be the one that sees me and, hey, isn't that Joseph? So this is the problem. A lot of people don't want to pay the price, don't want to invest into what successful people are doing. Every single time you invest into what successful people are doing, they keep a record of it. Okay? So get out there, make yourself available, get into the midst of successful people, and you'll be able to move your mindset from where it is right now to where you want it to be. Questions, please. I really enjoyed this session of the show where I talk to people because people reach you from all over because of the internet. And, let's take 1 or 2 questions. You're going to give us your words, Somebody said, what is the bare minimum capital investment required to invest in real estate with you? So what you want to do is, depending on where you're joining us from, like, we have people in the United States and outside the United States who invest with us. So if you want to invest with us, depending on where you're reaching out from, send an email to info@investorscapitalllc.net. info@investorscapitalllc.net. Once again, I'm going to take it so I can be slow. info@investorscapitalllc.net. Send an email, talk to us. One of my people are going to reach out to you, and there are so many things involved, and I just want to throw out a number in the public. So reach out to us privately. We're going to talk about your concerns, how you're trying to invest, because we have different investment tiers, and we'll be able to help you with that. Thank you for that question. And last question, any other person out there before we wrap up? Looks like we won again today, David. I like to win. People are satisfied. Nobody's asking no more questions. Give us the last words concerning insurance. And I've had a wonderful show with you today.
I appreciate it. No, it's truly an honor. I remember the second time you and I spoke, you spoke with me about your story of how you went to the library, read a ton of books, and the power is self-made at the beginning and then relationship made after that, right? Correct. So I truly appreciate the relationship that you and I are building. As far as insurance, if anybody would like to implement an index universal life for themselves to build not only their cash flow, but also their legacy, reach out to me through a direct message at This Is David Gomez, and I'd love to answer any questions.
Amazing. I want to thank you, David Gomez, for coming on the show. If you're watching, this is David Gomez, insurance broker, reaching us all the way from Texas, where everything is big. I can even see your ring. Your ring is bigger than mine. Everything about Texas is big, man. It's a beautiful, and I love the background. I'm a soccer fan. I told you when I saw it. I love Mercy, great guy. Successful people love successful people. It's just that simple. Okay.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for all the information you're giving out there, all the great things you're doing, helping people to build wealth. And I'm letting you know this is not going to be the last time you're coming on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you as well. Appreciate it.
Amazing. What an amazing discussion we've had today. 6 years ago, I came to the United States. And when I came in here, I literally came in with nothing. I just landed in New York with $4,700 in my pocket. Came in here with my beautiful wife and my first daughter, and I didn't even know where to start, But one thing that I knew was if I could go after knowledge, if I could go after information, if I could decide to build myself with the information that was out there, I just knew if I could do that and if I could implement it, I would become better. Now, I didn't do it because I wanted to become a millionaire at the time. I just did it because I wanted to be better. I wanted to go from where I am to a better spot. But you know how to say, you're planning one thing in the universe, but if you believe in God, God gives you another. And with all the information that I've gathered over the years and all the friendships and relationships that I've gathered over the years, I feel the best way for me to leave a legacy 10 years, 20 years, 50 years from now is to pass all this information to the people in my community and as many people that can see me from any part of the world. I want you to understand that you have to believe in yourself, take action, and as you do this, every single day, you will move yourself forward. This is not about me. I have done it. I've been there. But this is me calling you to take action. Because I know that when you believe in yourself, when you expose yourself out there to new information, and you decide to do what I am doing, you can become even much more, and you will change your entire story. And with that, I want to encourage you to sign up again for the bootcamp coming November 10th to November 12th of 2022. I'm telling you one thing. When you come to that class, every single person who has ever attended, one thing they have in common, they became a better person. And that is how I'm going to wrap up today's show, because I know that wherever you're listening to me from, the word wealth is a universal language. Take action, build wealth for yourself, and remember that your best days are always ahead of you and never behind. Remember, success has no colors. My name is Joseph Nantomer, Wealth Flow Coach, multi-millionaire real estate investor, signing out.